As soon as this draw came out last year, everyone just said France Ireland in Dublin, second last round of the Six Nations, going to swing on this. And what we all thought, of course, it'd be, what we predicted was two undefeated teams. What we didn't see was France imploding in many ways in the opening 20 minutes against England and really losing that match at Twickenham rather than England winning it. But, France being, and this is probably quite indicative of the Galthié era, that they haven't delivered completely. They've played some really great rugby, and Fabien Galthié deserves great credit for bringing France back to the grandeur of their past. There was probably a decade there up into 2019 World Cup where France were playing really poor rugby, and they weren't fit enough for international standards. They lost their way. They weren't playing great, attractive rugby. They'd really dropped down the world rankings, and Galthié's changed all that. And the political will in France to support the national team has changed. But they still have only won one championship since he took over at the end of the World Cup in 2019, which is really small dividends for a team that's got such talent. You look at that team they've picked there, and you've just got to say, wow, they have got some serious rugby players in that side. And they've got this, now they've also, as we've just seen the team come up there, they've gone for a 7-1 bench. So what we saw in Rome last week was, or 2 weeks ago, was a dress rehearsal for this game plan. And that dress rehearsal means they've learnt from what they did in 2023 when they came to Dublin, which produced one of the great games of rugby I've seen. It was a fabulous game. France said, we're not going to kick the ball out. We're going to deny Ireland their line out, because as we know, they want that to attack. So, but what that produced by not kicking the ball out was this incredible amount of time the ball was in play. The game went from one side of the field to the other, one end to the other. It was so entertaining. But France ran out of petrol. Ireland were fitter than them, and they got them. Now, they have changed. They said, right, this time we are going to go route one. We are coming at your scrum. We are coming at your line out and your maul, and we are going at Sam Prendergast. And we're going to pick a 7-1 bench, and we are going to really bash you up. And then we'll go around you. So it's the old cliche. To earn the right to go around a team, you've got to go through them. And in the lead up against Italy to Paul Bouderon's try, France took the ball from the Italian 10-metre line, so 40 metres out, the entire 40 metres without either doing pick and go, Dupont going himself, or one pass either side of the ruck. It was a really unbelievably exhibition of power and force and skill on contact. And while they scored 70 points against Italy, I think they've sent out a message. This is what we're doing. We've learned from what we did in 2023 at the Aviva. As entertaining and as wonderful as it was for all of us, they lost. And they're going to change that. That is a very powerful pack. Now, they're rolling the dice. We've seen this in the Six Nations. Ireland had a 5-3 bench. Gary got carded. They had Bundyaki to come on. Bundy changed the game. Ireland would have lost that game if they had got a 7-1 bench. Scotland went a 6-2. They had the collision between Darcy and Finn Russell. Both leave the field. That cost them the game, in my opinion. They only had two guys on the bench. So they are rolling the dice, but they're saying we've got to roll the dice because this is a great Irish team. But I think it's going to put huge pressure on the front rows and the front row on the bench in particular. I think the game might pivot on the role of the Irish forwards that come off the bench, and therefore that comes into the selection of who starts, who comes on later, because that bench, particularly the front row, and we're hearing that Furlong is out. Sorry about that. Furlong's out, and now that's a big blow. So but just makes this game even more fascinating than it has been this week. You just go, wow, there's a game of chess going on here, not a game of checkers. This is chess, and it's chess with big dudes running into each other at full speed. It's really something to look forward to.